Yes, sir. We back with another episode. Ladies and gentlemen, my guest is a guy y'all probably don't know is funny. Walter Lee, aka Extraordinaire. Peace, my brother. How you doing?
What's good? What's good? I'm just gonna be real cool now. Before I was like real, and now I'm gonna be like, hey, how everybody doing?
Yes,
Yo,
sir.
it's extraordinary. But we're gonna have some fun.
Yeah, we're gonna try to have some fun. He was over here wilding out before we got started, so I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. All right, so let's start it off. Tell the people where you from, my guy.
Yo, my name's Extraordinaire the Great. I hail from Chattanooga, Tennessee, by way of Nashville and Atlanta, bringing that good hip hop, good music, all around dope producer. That's me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So tell me about your musical journey. What got you into hip hop?
So just growing up, listening to it, um, I was what they call enamored by it, and then I was playing around with it, and then I ended up meeting older kids that also did music. So, I didn't care if I was the hype man or the roadie or whatever. I just wanted to be down. So I ended up being like the hype man. Then I got some equipment, started doing beats, and I started rapping and picking it up. So, it's just been a long journey of being around people and then just building my knowledge base of this hip hop. Then I went to a school called MTSU, Middle Tennessee State University, and I expounded on my knowledge of everything and the recording. So it's just been a journey, man.
Okay, okay. So you pretty much proficient as far as mixing and mastering and everything then.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like to brag like that. You know what I'm saying? It's not even bragging. It's just I just do what I need. You know what I'm saying? It's just like I just do what I got to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I think people like me, we wanted to rap, but
Mm-hmm.
you pick up other skills. Like I got to make beats. We got to have beats. Oh, I got to do graphics. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I got to learn how to mix. You know what I'm saying? So you just pick up these skills because that one foundation thing that you wanted to do demanded you learn all these other things. So that's how that came about.
Yes, sir. For those who aren't familiar with the quote, it for
I'm
those
gonna
who
throw
aren't
it in there.
it's all good. For those who aren't familiar with the quote, it goes a jack of all trades, master of none,
Yeah,
oftentimes better than a master of one. So a
yeah.
lot of people don't know that's the full quote to that.
Hmm.
They just think a jack of all trades is a master of none. But actually, what the quote is trying to say is that oftentimes you may benefit yourself by having more skills than just being able to do one very, very well.
Yeah, yeah.
So I hear often that coming from the South, and not just for the South, but for the Midwest too, there were no places that we could just walk up into record labels and rap our ass off and then get a deal. There was nobody that we could go to and get the dopest production. We had to do all of that ourselves, right? So
Yeah,
you
yeah.
guys were experiencing the same thing that we were going through in the Midwest, which
Hmm.
led to us creating our own sound. Everybody didn't
Yeah,
have that boom pap
yeah.
from New York. You know what I mean? So my next question to you is: did you end up finding your own sound through
I th-
making beats and doing production?
I think two factors. I would spend my summers in the South, and they would not just play up north music. They of course play the South. They play the West Coast. So that played a big part in my sound. And then just coming from the hip hop aesthetic, coming up was you want to sound different. You want to stand out. And this was of course I'm not dating myself. I've been doing it since I was about 7. I'm 27 now, and so, but it was that aesthetic to where you wanted to sound different. You wanted to have your own sound. So that led to me just developing, me enjoying the music. I would dabble and I would do the boom bap, but then I'd also dabble in some Memphis stuff. I'd dabble in some West Coast vibes. You know what I'm saying? So I would just make that a gumbo. And one of my things would be like if DJ Premier made a crunk beat, those would be some of the kind of the parameters of things that I would try to do when I was making production. So
Okay, okay, okay. Growing up through the 80s and the 90s, we always saw that it was the it would behoove you to be your own person and be an originator instead of being imitation or a knockoff, and
A biter.
completely, yeah, a biter. You know what I mean? Like taking people's style and just trying to run with it. That's cool. I was the first one with it, you know. So you heard
Hmm.
that in the Jay-Z line before.
Yeah.
So when you hear that and you think about that and where we stand now in this new miracle in this new age of hip hop music, we see a lot of that, right? It's a lot of
Yeah.
everybody sounds the same.
Yeah.
Um, who are the standout artists to you that don't that are just above the cream of the crop?
Okay. Of course, you're gonna say Kendrick. You're gonna say J. Cole. I like Childish Gambino for that reason. Um, and it's just a lot of people like that that do something that's still relevant, but it's in their own lane, you know. And you can't fault anybody because even though now it's very predominant that you can see it, even back in the day, people like if you had NWA, people would take the the rawest elements of what they did and copy it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they wouldn't get the whole spectrum. They just take that one thing. That was the same thing with Tupac. That was, you know, you kind of see it that people would take that one element, not to express yourself or the, you know, the things that kind of balanced it out. It
Mm-hmm.
would just be that one thing. And so people, the formula began that way. So now you have all these different formulas that people use, and now it's just more predominant because everything, you know, that really rocks on the radio, it sounds the same, you know, and that's just because now the capitalism gets involved, and it leads to that kind of thing. But you know, I think back then it was just the love of, okay, oh, this is dope, let me do that. So it's just that's how I've noticed it anyway, in my opinion. So
One of the things that I've been paying attention to also is as far as I'm not a producer. I don't make beats or anything. I may co-produce. That's as far as I go. Like I may say, try this or do this, or hey, let's do it this way. But one of the things I noticed is with the younger generation, this is no knock on them. This is just something I've observed. If you put like the MPC and all of those instruments in front of them, they have no idea what those are because in their era, in their current era, they're just used to doing everything off of the laptop or an iPad or
yeah,
something like that. Do you ever
yeah.
try to like work with the younger generations and teach them about those things like the keyboards and the MPCs and the MPCX and all the ASR10s and things like that?
Yeah, ASR 10 right here. That was my bread and butter for years. And so I remember there was an article in a magazine called Scratch, and Lil Flip was talking about producers with laptops, and I was like, you know, how is that even, you know, possible? But he was like, with that, they can, you know, they can get those beats off. And I was lugging this big ass keyboard. It was a bunch of bullshit trying to do that to take it to a studio.
Absolutely.
And you know, so I never got into the MPC, you know, like the SB 1200s and all those things. I did the, you know, I did like the other thing, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody might be using Pro Tools now. I use Reason or something like that, you know. But going back to your question, they see it when if they come in my studio, they'll see it, you know. Um, and I don't the thing is I don't use it as much, but it's what I do is I will grab a whole bunch of stuff that I've done over the years off of that ASR 10, and then it's just a big difference in the way I could manipulate things. It the limitations allowed you to be more creative.
Mm-hmm.
So now, you know, there's sample packs and different other things. You know, I would hear younger guys make beats, and I was like, man, y'all are like, how y'all do? Then I realized, oh, they just using sample packs. They're not, you know, figuring out these notes and these keys and all that stuff.
How to thoroughly go
Just
through everything to find it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, you know, things are supposed to get easier as we go along, you know, with
Absolutely.
technology and all this stuff.
Absolutely.
So that's definitely not a knock, you know. It's just I came up on like 4 tracks, making beats on a 4 track. Where you didn't have a 4 tracks, you had to put the beat down, flip the tape over, do something to get some more tracks and figure out stuff like that. So
Yeah, and
You know,
if you were a group at the time before they did the 6 and the 8 track, if you were a group, everyone had to go around the mic. They had to know their turn and when to come in and do the vocals and everything. So you could do
yes,
all 4 tracks without a
exactly.
without any interruptions or without wasting time and everything. So
Yeah. I,
it's evolved so much.
I started recording on a what's that? I still got it, the 2 deck tape deck.
Oh
And
wow.
so we'd had the mic and we'd do a song. We'd have to do it from top to bottom. Everybody had to remember their verse. It'd always be that third guy that would forget his verse, and we'd have to do it all over. So those you know, those things people won't get. You know what I mean? Because it's so easy now.
Yeah, now
Yeah,
you
what
can
you get
just you can punch in now. And
exactly.
I think for us, you know, it's not like we love the advancement of the technology, but the thing for me is I still enjoy going back and doing the complete verse and not punching in. Because
Exactly.
when you punch in, you mess up the cadence, the flow of
Yeah.
the song is off. And if people are
So,
listening the same
yeah.
way I'm listening, you can hear the clip, the way that they put you in. You can tell like everything, you can tell like it's not a
Yeah.
complete verse.
Especially if you did it. Especially if you did it, you're gonna hear all that.
Oh yeah.
So,
Oh
you
yeah.
know, and that's the thing. I've worked with producers back in the day that would do the hi-hats. They would
Mm-hmm.
have to do them, you know, themselves. You know, now it's got with the drum roll, the piano roll and all that stuff to do
Yeah.
all that stuff, and you can program it in, do this, you know. So
Speed it
I,
up, loop
I
it all up.
yeah, so I mean, I'm blessed and thankful that I got to see that, but I'm also grateful that we have what we have now to do what we need to do with the music too. So it's a catch
Absolutely.
22.
Absolutely. Because it makes you more efficient now in this
Yeah,
era. Yeah.
yeah, but and I'll say this because there was no like freestyle, you know, like people just going to do a couple lines, punch in. No, you had to be on point, you know, you had to really have it down, you know. So now, you know, with the advent of technology, you know, and that's how they catch their vibe, you know, they'll freestyle a verse, you know, let me punch in right here. Okay, let me do 2 lines, you know, da 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 da. So there's different things. It's you know, it's different things. So like I said, we're blessed to have, and I'm grateful that I went through that. But we're blessed to have the technology that we have now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's been a wonderful thing. I would like to see more of the younger generation, the younger kids, the younger men and women educate themselves about where it came from to where it is now. Because I remember like for us growing up, we wanted to know where the music was coming from. We want to know where the samples came from. We want to know what the
Yeah,
original song actually sounded like. Like when I
yeah,
first heard Styles P do I Get High, I was like,
yeah.
yo, that's Free to Pain.
Mm-hmm.
I love that
Yeah.
song. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
it made me want to go back and listen to that song even more after I had heard Swizz flip that. You know what I mean? So,
Exactly.
but now you in the era of trap beats or excuse me drill beats and everything like that. There's a little less of that put into it, or when it
Mm-hmm.
is put into it, like the kids don't necessarily care that like they're just worried about what's hot. Like consuming the product is more their thing. And for us, it
Yeah.
was about consuming the product, but knowing what the product was when we were
Yeah.
consuming it as well. So
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that, to me, that's just my only thing to the young men and women is just educate yourselves, have an understanding of where it came from.
Definitely.
Be aware of not just what you're doing now, but the steps that got us to where we are now. Because
Exactly. That makes a big difference. That
yeah,
makes a big difference. Knowing those steps, they got us because when I was coming up, we weren't thinking that this music was gonna last this long.
nope,
So it's a blessing for them to not even know that, oh, this was not supposed to last. This is supposed to be a fad like breakdancing, you know. We still have breakdance, but you know what I mean. It wasn't supposed to be, it
yeah,
was
we're
supposed to be
supposed to
here to
fade
go.
out like disco. We're supposed to go
Exactly,
be the same thing as
exactly,
disco, and 40, 50 years
exactly,
later, we still here doing it.
exactly. So it makes a big difference to know, okay, for instance, um, I I would go through, I would listen to the hip hop, but then when I found those my daddy's records, not that's not a Sanford and Son joke. I want my daddy's records, but you if you know Sanford and Son, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, um, I would go through those records, and then I started finding all these samples like Sly and the Family Stone, some Richard Pryor stuff, some Gil Scott Heron that he had. You know, I
Mm,
said, oh wait a minute, Karis used that. damn, Dre and NWA used this. They scratched that Richard Pryor. And I took those, I was in Atlanta visiting him. I brought them albums home back to Chattanooga and started sampling and figuring out stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it made you appreciate what came before you as well.
Yes, sir.
And that is the tradition of this music, because it was taking the best of everything, whether it be rock, you know, soul, disco, whatever. That's what those DJs would spin, and that was the foundation of what we came up with our music for them. So yeah, knowing that, because it's a lot of times the I don't have, as you get older, you understand younger people. They don't understand you. So it makes it's weird because they telling you you don't know, but no, I've lived all this stuff. I see what you've done. I see what you're gonna do. I can predict a lot of stuff because I've seen how the
Facts.
thing happens.
Facts.
So
And
so
hold your thought, because this is what I say to them sometime when I go to anybody's studio. If I was in your studio, if I'm on the street, I tell them like this: I've been your age already. You have yet to get here.
exactly,
I've been there
exactly,
already, so I already know what that is.
yeah,
So let me give you the game so you can avoid some of these potholes and you have some better understanding of what this or what the music or life is, just so you have
yeah.
a better understanding of it. But continue your thought.
I mean, but yeah, you're on point because look, I remember being in the sixth grade thinking I was grown,
Mm,
and my teacher calling me out like, "Nah, man, you still," And then it took me a while, but yeah, I was stupid. I didn't know any better, but it's a lot of times that you can present this stuff to younger people and they don't get it. There's a disconnect, but like I'm telling you, and I'm saying to them, like this is it. This is where it came from. So, but it's always good when I hear like 21 Savage. I think I heard a song the other day. He's using Miss Good. What's that? The Most Def song. The same sample that they use on that.
Miss Fat
And
Booty.
yeah, and I know it
Yeah,
was some way that they flipped it. I was like,
Miss Fat
okay,
Booty. Yeah,
okay, yeah.
yeah.
So,
And
so
she
when I
came
see,
with the same type frame.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It was that because I was listening to. It, I was like, okay, okay. So that's good. It bridges the gap a little bit because, and then there's been those memes and those viral videos where they show how people have used it's something that's a new song, but they used it 20 years ago. But then you can go back even 15 years before that, and it was something that they used. You know what I'm saying? So it's all a cycle, and
yes, sir.
if people don't, I would like to educate them. If they don't, you keep it moving, and hopefully they'll come back and they've heard it. Listen to me now, believe me later on, type thing.
Yeah,
Shout out to Goody Mob. So
yeah. And one of the
that's how
things
it is.
that we are the creators of all the music that, or the majority of the music that people are hearing anyway, right? So
Exactly,
from us, you got the blues, you got jazz.
exactly.
Through that, there was rock and roll. There was
Yeah,
it blue note music or
yeah,
bluegrass music and all that stuff. Like all of it come
exactly.
from us. So down to your disco, like rock and roll, all that shit is ours. So
Exactly,
um,
exactly. We're the
I just
architects.
want, yeah, we the architects of it. And for me, I would just like the younger generations to have an understanding. Like, look, you got something to be proud of, not just this hip hop shit, because hip hop is dope.
Exactly.
Hip hop is a
Yeah.
great expression of what we've done and how far we've come. But there's all this other shit that we've done that you guys should make sure you acclimate yourself to.
Yeah.
Even a gospel music is something that a lane that we created and was able to do. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's a lot of these things that we've done, and they should be aware of them and want to participate and have some knowledge of.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Definitely.
All
That because
right.
that was it was exciting to me. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, that's what I was saying. That was what was always exciting to me was to make that connection. Like, oh, this is what this came from. This is dang, this is hip hop is rock and roll because
Yeah.
it pulled from all that stuff. So there shouldn't be any doubt that it should be in there because when you look at the origins and what it pulled from and all this stuff, yeah, I mean, we the creators of it all. You're right,
Hell
bro.
yeah, man. Hell yeah. And early on, I remember when they used to use that 4-track or 6-track recorder. they would
Yeah.
use some of those dope ass jazz beats, man, and create beats. I was like, man, this is crazy that a person can sit there and chop this up and do
Yeah.
this, man. But uh still to this day, man, we keep moving the needle ahead and continue to do things in a proficient manner. So tell me, like,
Yeah.
growing up in Memphis, or I mean in
Chattanooga.
Chattanooga,
Chattanooga. Yeah.
yeah, Chattanooga. What were, because I already know about MJG and 8 Ball, but around you guys, who were the dope hip hop groups? So where there's like a Soul Train or a Black and Gold channel that y'all watch or anything like that?
So we are right between Nashville and Atlanta.
Okay.
So we would get concerts and we would get all the, we would get everything that everybody else would get, all the shows. And I remember, like, for instance, from Nashville, there was the Blow Plop crew that would come. So that was the first time that I saw a crew that was from, I was actually born in Nashville. So, and my godmother's from there and all that stuff. So it was cool to, it was like, this could be done. They're touring with all these big acts, opening, for all these big acts. So that was one of the first times that I was like, okay, this is real. The other time was, we would be listening. Like I said, my father was from Atlanta, so I would go visit him during the summers. I would hear all this different hip hop, and there was a guy named MC Shadi that was representing from Atlanta.
Okay.
Even though he was from New York, that was like another moment where it's like, oh, that's just, I'm down there all the time, and even like when I would go to Atlanta, the malls that I would go to, like Greenbrier, they'd be like, yeah, that's where Crisscross was found, and and different stuff like that. I was like, man, I was right there. I've seen all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I was in a unique position to be there in Atlanta when it was starting to grow. Because at first it was, when I would go out of the cars, I would just hear the bass music. I don't know if y'all got a lot of that up there, like DJ Magic Mike type stuff. Just the stuff that would rattle your trunk. Um, and then it developed, and it developed its own sound, and then like with Outkast, they broke down the door for that, and that was good because you had LaFace that came down there. Bobby Brown before that came down to Atlanta, and that's when you started seeing, oh, Atlanta's about to be an entertainment mecca. So it was cool to see that development, for Atlanta, and for it to be the way it is now. It's
Yeah.
it's like the capital, basically.
Yeah. It was
For
brewing for
for
a very long. It was brewing for a very long time.
yeah.
It had
So
been brewing for a while.
yeah, so that, having those influences and being in proximity of those different things. And then, like I said, I went to MTSU, which gave me proximity more to Memphis. So I would hear the 3 6 Mafia, I would hear the 8 Ball MJG in the club, and I said, oh, okay. And they had their own, people from Memphis had their own vibe, their own, their own swag. It
Slang,
was
their
just,
own
yeah,
culture,
yeah,
all
yeah,
that.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
In Memphis, man,
man.
I had a roommate, man, that was just, me and my
Yeah,
other homeboy,
man.
we just count how many times he said Memphis in Maine, and it just sitting in Memphis, man. We up there, we be on them slash, man. And then he'd just go on for on and on. Shout out to Sancho, man. That was my
Yeah.
boy though. But
When I first got
what?
there, they would always tell me about Anthony Hardaway too. He from her. I was like, okay,
Uh-huh.
that's cool. Like we
Yeah,
got a lot of people from Chicago that play ball, man. Like
yeah,
we don't care. Like, yeah, I got that one.
exactly.
But they were they
But
were they were proud of
yeah,
that, you know what I mean? Because it's not
yeah,
like you were hearing a lot about Memphis, but they they very own MJG and 8 Ball, because we
exactly.
here in Chicago, we listen to them hard, man.
Okay,
We
that's
we
good to
fuck we
know.
fuck with them hard up, man. What?
Yeah,
Man, wait till the
okay.
summertime come, man. One day I'm gonna walk through a neighborhood, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And I'm gonna just walk through and you gonna hear that shit thumping, and what you call trunk music. We used to a lot of, if you was on the south side of the east side, you would hear a lot of 3 6 Mafia playing just for the thumping.
okay.
just for the
Yeah.
thump in the trunk. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you hear a lot of that shit on the south side and on the east side of Chicago, man. You hear the wah, try to trunk
Yeah.
just rattle, wah,
Yep.
wah, you know what I mean? So they got a lot of love up here. But when I had to go down there for school for that year and a
Hmm.
half I was there, you hear that's one thing I will say about the South and the West Coast. They do
Hmm.
they do play other people music, but they make sure that they support their own.
Yeah.
I
That
swear to God, man.
that makes a big difference. It
Yeah,
makes a
dude.
difference.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
When I came back to Chicago, like all of the music they was
Mhm.
hearing, the Yin Yang Twins and all, I'm like, oh man, that shit. Yeah, this old man. Them motherfuckers been doing this shit for like 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
This shit been
And
out
just
down there. Like they
just catching. Yeah.
yeah, like they tearing the clubs down there. Like man, women are getting naked when this shit come on down here. Y'all just
Yeah.
twerking and shit or whatever it is y'all doing. Y'all, booty dancing and shit. Like they down there going crazy when this shit come on. Like they on to the next song. But I
Yeah.
definitely know for a fact while I was down there, and you're a part of you're taking in a culture and you're absorbing it and you're around it. They support their own. For as many times as a Jay-Z record played or a
Hmm.
Scarface record played, there was always a Memphis record that was played. And I noticed
Yeah.
that more about them in the West Coast than in Chicago, especially because Chicago is like we program the records directors and we playing whatever's um uh in the system,
Exactly.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there
Yeah.
I always heard some Memphis shit or some down south shit, period. I remember it was a few times when I first got there. I was like, man, they're not gonna play the Jay-Z first on a verse on Big Pimpin'. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Oh,
Like
they didn't even play his verse.
it would be up and down. Like you would hear that you would hear the Pimp C, the Bun B and the Pimp C part, and then like maybe the first part of the first Jay-Z verse, or sometime they didn't play that last verse. When he talked about
Uh.
Pamela Lee Anderson or whatever it
Yeah.
was. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it was always up and down with those. And I always noticed it because again, I'm becoming more musically inclined. I'm becoming a better writer and rapper at the same time. So
Yeah.
I'm listening to all this stuff and I'm taking it all in. So talk
Oh
to me,
man.
man. Your journey through high school. Like, did you make a group in high school?
Yeah. So, like I said, I met a older guy. Like I was in the seventh grade. He was like maybe 10th grade or something like that. And they said, oh, he raps too. So I was like, oh man, let me go over here and vibe with him. And like I said, they had he had a DJ. They had a little beat machine. So I went and did my first little demo over there.
Mhm.
I did about half the verse I wrote, and then I freestyled the rest. But because it was just one take, so I didn't want to mess it up. But that was my first little entrance. And then so once we got to the same school together, when they did shows, I might be like the hype man. I'd like have a bag of tater chips or something to just be sitting up there chilling. We have dances, and it was like the good, the that golden era type shit. So, but I was just happy to be there. So I was like, man, let me learn how to do these beats. Let me, figure out get these rhymes up. You know what I'm saying? And I started. One of my claim to fame growing up was I would do like whole answer machine messages that were like verses. I'd get like a dope beat and I'd rap over it for 30 seconds or whatever, get a couple bars in. So that became my little claim to fame through up until college, from middle school to college, junior high to college. So that was my first approach of how to get in and up my skills and learn how to do it and put songs together. I still got some of them. I'm gonna try to post them one day. I've been trying to figure out a way I could get those posted and then people could just get a good laugh because it's funny. My voice is high, just stuff like that. But so I started doing that. We started doing shows, doing talent shows. Then we started traveling to Atlanta, vibing with people, opening concerts for people like Too Short back in the day, Lynch Mob, people like that. And it was just a man, it was a great time to be a part of it. And then of course, that learning curve was, always, like I said, I went to school to learn about that engineering stuff. But then as time went on, I was like, damn, I don't even need this 2-inch tape no more. We got computers, we got Pro Tools, we got, you know what I'm saying? So just being a part of it and like so I decided I wanted to come back to Chattanooga after I got done. That's where I met Six. And we had a studio there and put it together. So it was just crazy just to see how, I mean, even as I think about it, the you know, straight to double cassette to 4-track to getting a little sampler to getting the ASR 10 and then getting a little, getting a little studio stuff where you had, Fostex, all this equipment, man. It's just that has been the funnest part for me, just like putting it all together, like making songs and I always say like putting the puzzle pieces together, this
Okay.
verse with this, and finding all these different things. And then like I said, with that ASR 10, it was even greater because you have to sample, format the song and do that, drop it down. And I mean, it was a lot more work, but without that, I wouldn't be who I am today, So
Absolutely.
it just, it was a journey, man. I appreciate it. I'm glad that I got to do it.
All right. My next question to you is name your top 3 to 5 rappers all time.
All time. And I'll say this, some of my, I can name the people that everybody else would name, but then I'm also kind of name people that that won't be in that top list, but they touch me in a certain way.
Okay.
So it's people like Nice and Smooth and the Tribe Called Quest, who are not like the super duper MCs, but they had a vibe. You know what I'm saying? They
Mm-hmm.
had energy and different things. It was like, oh, okay. Of course, like Big Daddy Kane, Cool G Rap, you know, Rakim, people like that you know had the bars. You know what I'm saying? Master Ace, people like that. Um, EPMD.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going back to like when Ice Cube was America's Most. You know what I'm saying? Where it was like, oh, so people like that. Those are some of my coming up. Chuck D, the people that kind of inspired me to like really like, oh,
Okay.
those old moments, them aha moments where I was like, okay,
Or you got to
then of course,
rewind it. You got to go back and
yeah,
rewind.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Nas and people like that and uh Andre, Big Boy, all those people. But those were those first moments where I was like, dang, oh, wow. You know what I'm saying? So,
All right. The
um,
next the next question would be top 5 producers, if you could name them.
okay. I always put Dilla up there,
Ooh.
and that's just, it, I what's great about him is I can't put my finger on why. I mean, of course I can put my finger on why, but it's like because he has so many styles and of course, I mean, so I say that because it's easy for me to say Dre, you know, it's easy for me to say DJ Premier, and I can say why, you know what I'm saying? But somebody like Dilla was somebody he could switch it up. He might have this one style here, but then he'd be like, "Oh, y'all don't cut on that. Let me do this. Let me do this." And that is what excites me about this music, is that it can be anything you want it to be.
Yes,
You
sir.
know what I'm saying? And he was one of those guys that made it an adventure. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, how's he gonna? Oh, you know what I'm saying? So, and it makes a difference. So, like I said, Dilla, Dre, DJ Premier, Q-Tip, and Tribe Called Quest, all that stuff. And it becomes evident even more. I was telling somebody today, and this is no knock towards Fife or anything, but I was like, that production that Q-Tip gave him and Tribe Called Quest gave him, it brought out the best in him. It gave his voice a chance to shine. It gave him, he could ride the beat, but you know what I'm saying? So, and I like this new album, but that was one of the things that stood out to me
Yeah.
listening to that. You know what I'm saying? That's definitely not a knock towards him because he's still dope, but it's like a lot of times, even now with this music, it's the vibe. It's not just how dope the beat is and all that. It's about catching that vibe. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So that was the big thing with Tribe. Um, yeah, they had dope uh, wordplay and all that stuff, but it was also that vibe, you know. So that's why I give it to Q-Tip, Pete Rock, um, Dungeon. You know, uh, I'm drawing a blank just because I don't want to forget anybody like Timbaland or the Neptunes. Um,
It
but
happens all the
yeah,
time. It happens all the
yeah,
time. Let me
yeah.
say this. Anytime you ask somebody, just ask somebody that question when you get a chance. Ask them that question tomorrow, and then ask them
Hmm.
a week from now, and watch how
Exactly,
they stutter
exactly.
over it, or
Yeah,
they're gonna or it's gonna change. It's always gonna
yeah,
change.
exactly.
My only one that I normally put up there is usually just Cool G Rap.
Okay, as far as bars, yeah,
As far as
yeah.
rappers
And
go.
you know, it's easy. It's easy for me to rap. I could Kane, Coogee rap, no, no, no. You know, but it's like I said. I always want to make sure that you know, it's some people that subconsciously,
Yeah,
you know,
you want to give
affected
people
me
their
too.
flowers at the
Yeah,
same
you got to
time.
give them their
Yeah,
flowers. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
it's like, man, I don't want to miss out on this. But you know, I hit the fire, the Dilla, the Premier, the Dre, the Q-Tip. You know what I'm saying? The Pete Rocks. You know what I'm saying? So, um, those people, you know, those were the ones that really, of course, yeah, I will forget. I will be like, oh man, tomorrow, hey, put me back on. I got more. But
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying. But you know, those are the people that
Everybody
come to
do it,
mind.
man. Everybody
Yeah.
do it. Everybody do it. The next question would be, who would be the 3 to 5 rappers that you would want to work with? Rappers.
Rappers with bars. You know, um, so as I think about it, you know, there was a time when I was like, Nas, you know, I would like to work with Nas, but I think he's found somebody good with Hit Boy. As far as finding somebody that complements him. I think also with Salam Remy, like with Life is Good album and all that stuff,
Yeah, I thought him
they,
and Salon was a really good
yeah,
team up.
yeah, yeah. So not him as much anymore. Um, you know, and that
What
was a
was it
good
about Nas that made you want to work with Nas?
um a, okay, so again, not a knock towards him, but it was like a time where his beat selection wasn't, you know,
It wasn't the
and his
best. It wasn't the
yeah,
best.
we can say that, but his bars are always there.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? His bars are always there. And it was just like, man, if he just had this and this, he would be, because I think in hip hop, at least for me, I root for the underdog. You know what I mean? Like, so a Tribe Called Quest is up for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but they always been an underdog group to me. So it's like it's cool to see it, but at the same time, it's like, oh, they've arrived. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing with Nas. You know, he's arrived. He's got Grammys now and all that stuff. But it was just a thing where it's like, man, he does get his flowers. It's just that when you root for somebody, you just feel like they ain't getting their due. So it's just like, man, he need to be up there with Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? People
Yeah,
need to respect his bars just as much as Jay-Z's. You know what I'm saying? Because he kicks a lot of knowledge in his verses. So
absolutely.
um,
But Jay made sure that he had those type of producers. He made sure
yeah.
that he was getting the best production, so he put out the best product, even if he didn't have to put out the best rhymes. Not saying that he wasn't, but
Hmm.
the beat he could ride the beat, or the beat could just do what it needed to do, and there are other
Hmm.
rappers who followed that format, and they just had really dope beats, and
Hmm.
they really weren't saying much of anything. When you listen to them, you go, yo,
Exactly.
you're not really saying nothing, but the beat is fire, and people love the beat. So
Hmm.
all right, so that you gave me Nas, so who would be the other four?
Somebody, he's right back there. Can you see him?
Is that you
Can you
talking
see him?
about from EPMD?
Rakim.
Rakim?
Rakim.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rakim.
I'm sorry about that.
Um, no, that's fine. Like when he was with Dre, I was like, okay. And it's not that what they do is, I mean, he doesn't have the greatest, in my opinion, beat selection, but he's got the best bars. He had the best beats when he was with Eric B. Those first couple of albums. But when he got in his zone, it was like, ah. And I'm not saying I'm like the producer guru, but It's just like these are people I just want to see win. You know what I'm saying? Because I know lyrically that they are the top 1%.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
so so you want to, I always said, like if I'm gonna say something, I want to put it over the best beat. You know what I'm saying? The best beat that's gonna get it to where it's gonna be, because the I feel like the words are the last thing people listen to. They're gonna the beat, the hook, then your verses. So I feel like all that has to come together so that, I mean, especially more now. So back in the day, but you know, so somebody like Rakim, like
You
it's
would have thought that teaming up with Dre would have been something of epic
exactly,
proportions.
exactly. I mean, and I do understand his reason. He didn't want to change anything like that, but man, I just wish they would have came to a compromise to where we could hear, what I'm saying, Rakim, like like when he did the Truth Hurts thing.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that joint? And he
Mm-hmm.
had that, because he rarely does. Excuse me, he rarely does guest voices, verses. He might have done Watcher, um, what Jody Watley, Truth Hurts. Those are the only things I can remember right off bat. Um, so it's just like, man, the dude got the voice, he got the lyrics, so you want to hear him, I just, it's just mainly for me about producing. It's not about, I could lace this dude with the dopest beats I mean, yeah, it is about that, but it's about what can I do as a producer to help them reach their full potential.
And get the best
That's
out of them.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I try to do. Whether it's a guy named Paco that Circa 94 Beats is doing a project with, or if I'm trying to, get with some of these guys, you know what I'm saying? So it's just to get the best out of them and get them to reach their maximum potential. I was watching something today where Benny the Butcher was like, that was the reason why he got on a major label, was because he wanted his music to be heard as much as possible.
You want to
You know what
reach a
I'm
bigger
saying?
audience.
A bigger audience,
Yeah.
and certain people have a gift, and you don't want that gift. And that's just, that doesn't have to be a Rakim or a Nas. That could just be, you know, anybody, you want them to, you want them to be heard, you want them to be, for people to respect their art and what they're doing. So that makes a big impact on what I do and why I do it.
Yeah, you definitely want people to. I get what you're saying. Like you have an affinity for certain artists that you wanted them to maximize their potential.
Yeah, yeah.
While they
So
had the
it's
chance to do it.
Yeah. So it's not. I mean, it's not like I'm seeking out these people. These are just people that I just want to see them reach their potential.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um,
That's why I'm asking. That's why I'm asking. I'm just
yeah,
asking questions
yeah,
in general, like who would
yeah.
you like to? So the flip side of that, because you produce too. So I will. My next part of that question would be, I don't. Did you answer all five as far as rappers? You did Nas, Rakim.
Yeah, that's what I say. I can't really say. It would be for me. It would be I'll just name some people. Like um, Andre, just because I want to hear Andre rap.
Yeah, we
You know what
all
I'm
do.
saying?
We all want to hear
You know what
three
I'm saying?
stacks.
So when I say these names, it's not like I'm seeking out anybody in particular. It's more about, man, I just want to hear these people do some dope music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've even contemplated, man. Just you be tripping like, man, I'm gonna make a diss song to Andre 3000. He gonna have to come out of retirement. You know what I'm saying? So it's really about bringing out the best in people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's really where my head is at. Is like, what can I do to bring out the best in people? So I'm gonna stop at 3
All
because
right. All right. So the next part of that would be, what top 3 to 5 producers would you like to work with?
so I would like to be a fly on the wall with Dre, Dr. Dre, um, fly on the wall with Dilla. You know, the closest thing I think we had to that now is maybe Mad Lib. Um, uh, and in his heyday, even Diddy, you know what I mean? Because the thing is, people say, oh, he doesn't play the keys, he doesn't do that, but he really did orchestrate some hits. You know what I'm saying? And that's the difference between a beat maker and a producer. You the same way you describe yourself. I might say you were saying I might say this. You need to do this way. You might do this way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that makes a difference. It makes a great difference in the studio of because I mean, don't get me wrong, those guys that were on the Hitmen, they made some hits on their own, but he put something else on it when he was orchestrating everything, so
And he really
um
was orchestrating, just so people have a
exactly,
understand. Like he was really orchestrating, like putting
exactly,
that shit together on a level that most people didn't even understand.
exactly. So you have to give, I give credit where credit's due on that aspect of it. So it's people like that. It was somebody else that I almost said Jermaine Dupri, just because I'm somebody that even though I do hip hop, I like to try to venture out, because the foundation of it is just, especially hip hop, which is my foundation, is just it's music. It was whether it be samples or whatever, you want to bring out the best in whatever a person does, which brings me up to the person that I can never forget. I got his books right over there, Quincy Jones. Um, because he produced everything from like 60s stuff, 60s, pop songs, to Frank Sinatra, to soundtracks,
Yeah,
to Michael Jackson, and his solo projects, jazz, so um it's just it's about the experience for me, and just so gosh, yeah, if Quincy Jones would be the that
epic. That would be
mm,
epic,
yeah,
man.
yeah,
That would be
yeah,
epic if you could get in there and do that.
yeah. Just and it's not even to work with him. It's just to sit there and watch his process.
Yeah.
And learn and take from it. Same with Dre, the same with Dilla, same with Madlib, same with Pete Rock or Q-Tip or any of those other guys. Same with Timbaland or the Neptunes. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
DJ Quick,
Um,
all of them. Yeah.
exactly. Shout out to DJ Quick. Shout out to DJ Quick. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Um, so
Big shout out to DJ Quick.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
'Cause I just missed him on the Truth Hurts, but I mean his the song he produced, but I mean his catalog is thick.
Yeah,
Um,
man.
so you just want me. I just want to be able to learn and get that thought process. I was a couple. And I say a couple of years. That's probably 20 years, something like that. There was an MC by the name of EST. He was with a group called Three Times Dope, and I got to kind of chop it up with him. And I was like, man, when I make beats, I'm just trying to be a scientist and figure out stuff. And so he gave me some advice. He was like, man, just go in there and make hits. And it did. I was kind of taken aback because he was somebody that I idolized hip hop, but it took me getting involved more to understand, you ain't got time to play, you know what I'm saying? So anytime that I can get around somebody that's
Mm,
more, you know what I'm saying? Anytime I can get around somebody that's more experienced, even if I'll listen to them now, but leave them later on, I always want to take it, even if I don't receive
agree.
it, yeah, agree at that moment. I want to understand your thought process, so that then it might take me a while, but then I figure it out. Be like, oh, that makes sense. That makes a whole lot of sense. So, and that took me a couple of years to figure out what he meant by that.
He told you
Uh,
just make hits.
he was, yeah, basically in a nutshell. And I was like, because I'm listening. He was one of those foundational. There was a foundational group for me as far as and they made good hip hop and all that stuff. But I think coming from where he came from, being in the game, and he was doing like A&R stuff at that time, and he had later gone to help Beyonce do some stuff, but he was just saying, man, you know, the way this game is, I mean, is there's a few people that get, they get to advance and keep doing things in the way that they want to, like Nas, but you know, man, you just got to knock them in the head every time, So I took, at first I didn't get it, but now, I mean, it has affected my whole approach to music. So
Yeah, the
that
way
was,
you said it kind of like sent a tingle through me. It was like, yo, like that's not how I originally came in trying to do it.
yeah,
But to a certain degree, when you're older, you go, I get it now. Like
yeah,
if you
exactly,
to get a better result and be able to do what you want to do at a higher level, you gotta do that.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean? You got to put certain emphasis. You got to put an emphasis on certain things.
exactly.
Yeah,
So I mean, even if I'm making some underground stuff or some, I've done gospel production, I've done, all types of stuff. I want to make it the best that it can be. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So that, the potential audience that's gonna check it out um gets the most out of it. That's why, I mean, and people think I'm crazy for this, but I might do a song, but I got like 4 or 5 remixes for it, because I want to see how this sounds, and this, it gives me it gives me a chance to just to hear different uh angles from it. But also I'm only going to use one. I might release a remix of it, but then I got 2 other beats that I can use for something else. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So it just gives me, I just push myself a little bit harder because of that, and then, I might end up still going with the original beat, but at the same time, I enjoyed the learning process just as much as uh, putting it out and performing on stage and doing all that stuff. So yeah.
How often are you in the studio? Is it every day, every other day?
Um, I'm doing something with music pretty much every day. Um, Whether it's, and here's going back to the jack of all trades, master of none quote. If I'm not in the studio, I'm figuring out um graphics. I like to do, like I like to do my own graphics. Like I'll pull from somebody, like I might buy some cover or something, then I'll add my touch to it or something like that. But I'll do that, or I might, I might be editing some video stuff like I did last night, But then I might, multitask. Like last night, what I did was I edited some videos, uh, edited a beat, uh, play with some another beat, you know what I'm saying? So that just keeps me hungry, and it keeps me moving forward because if I might do I might create a cover for a project. I ain't even done the song yet, but now I have something to work towards. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? I just got an idea for this, So it's just something to keep my creative
but
juices flowing. That,
but that's where it all starts, right? If you if
yeah,
you conceive an idea, that is the beginning of being able to do something like that. That is
exactly.
the start of something. Whether you conceive it
Hmm.
by art or you sit down like me and you start writing a verse and you come up with the first 4 to 6 lines of it.
Hmm.
Like
Yep.
that, you're conceiving, you're synthesizing, you're creating, you're coming up with something. So then it just becomes a journey to fulfill that dream or that idea for yourself. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And,
definitely.
and anytime I get into that mode, as far as like musically, I start letting Agent Smith or I let Six know right away, like, hey, I got this idea. Can you help me out? And they'll throw some stuff in the Dropbox
Hmm.
or I'll say, hey, look, this is what I got.
Hmm.
And they're like, all right, cool. I know what to do. I know what to do. And
Yeah,
then it just goes from there. And then you got one song, and then you got 2 songs, and then you got four, and
yeah,
it just continues to build.
exactly,
Tell
exactly. And
tell
that's
me
what it,
something. Tell me something.
yeah.
Um, as far as your musical journey goes, have you been able to learn how to play an instrument yet?
Basically the piano.
Okay.
Um, and that just came from one taking, in school, taking those classes and doing that. And then, the way that you program stuff and doing all that, that was the biggest thing, so it was just like, oh, I'm gonna do these chords and these chords that so
Chords are dope,
that
man. If you know how to
yeah,
use them correct, chords are dope.
yeah. So, and that was, especially like in the 90s when I would be around people that was real good with those chords. I'm like, oh, I'd be like with church guys, and they'd be making faces when they hit them keys.
Yeah, on
Like,
them.
yeah,
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 on the organ. Yeah,
yeah. They'd be, they'd do all that stuff, and I'd be like, okay, that would get me inspired to be like, okay, let me figure out, okay, how to my fingers and doing all that. So, yeah, yeah, man,
man, that shit's
those
special,
keys,
man.
yeah,
Yeah,
man, those
anytime you
keys,
can add some live instrumentation, it's always gonna add another layer
yeah,
to
exactly,
the song and to the performance of the song, man. Yeah,
yeah,
I
and
love that.
yeah, that's something like I have a book about the Quincy Jones and how he would do stuff. Like Quincy Jones can play, you
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? He
He's
can
a
do it
jazz
like that, but
musician.
exactly. And he knows music, but he'll bring in dope bass, dope guys on the keys, you know what I'm saying? Dope guys that do this. And so that's what I like. I like being able to. I used to have a lot of people that I could bring in and just be like, come on, hit this, Um, and so that is real cool, to have somebody to come in. Like I might do a little bass, but now I need that live feel. I need that, you know what I'm saying? Okay, I did these keys, but let's sprinkle it with a little of this, you know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah,
I got a partner up there in Chicago, as a matter of fact, that a guy named K2, man. You know, man, he'll come, he all in chats. He's a big Stevie Wonder fan, so
yeah.
he'll just hit that road. He had a rose. He left it in my room. We were in school. He hit man. So that inspired me even more to kind of like, let me, you know what I'm saying. Then if I, like I said, if I got to, come on and touch this, man. Sprinkle this, So that is,
Yeah, I love
yeah,
that. I
man,
love that, man. That production, the
yeah,
whole production of it, the
yeah.
mending and meshing everything together. I
Exactly,
love that
and
shit.
that's why I say that's the funnest part to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I want to put it out and get it heard, but man, putting it together and so in some form of fashion, this is me for the rest of my life. You know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying? So
Absolutely. I bust
so
listen, I we was creating songs one time and I burst out crooning. And from crooning, it led to me kind of like singing. And they didn't know that. Like Agent Smith and Six, they didn't have no idea I could do it. And when I
yeah,
did it, Agent Smith was like, nigga, you like Fonte or some shit up in here. You know what I mean?
okay,
And I was
yeah,
just like,
yeah,
I'm like, I grew up in a singing family. Like, like everybody was like a choir member or could sing, do leads and all that shit. So like it's there.
yeah,
I just don't, I usually keep it to myself. But when that type of environment has that type of energy, it kind of like
mm-hmm,
makes it bleed out. And it doesn't force
exactly,
you to do it. It just comes out of you because you're in an environment that dictates. All right, I'm just gonna do it then.
exactly.
I'm gonna show people another element to me. You know what I mean? So it's just a part of artistry, man. There's nothing wrong with
Yeah,
being able to sing or anything like that.
no, nothing at all. And here's the
No.
thing: what happens is, growing up, young, you got friends around that don't nurture that. You know what I'm saying? Especially in the studio, we are you it's God. But you got to have that environment in the studio to nurture people to bring out their full potential. And I had to learn that later, because I'm a jokester, I got my jokes and stuff. But at the same time, we, like I'm a producer, so I want to bring out the best in you. So man, if you got that and we can make that hot, you know what I'm saying? Or, like for instance, like I mentioned, we got a project with a guy named Paco coming out. He sung on a lot of his songs, but then I was like, okay, you've done that on a few songs. Let's get somebody else to sing and give you a different vibe. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. I love, like I said, this is gonna be me for the rest of my life. I love the process of making these songs and putting them together and finding, like, okay, let's switch this up. Let's do
Yeah.
this. So
Yeah,
man,
it's your paint. Music is your paintbrush. Music is your
yeah,
paintbrush,
exactly,
man. Yeah.
exactly, yeah.
Let me ask you another question because that's what we're here for. So,
Hmm.
as a producer, as a beat maker, are you able to make beats around a certain, like around a person, like based on the way that they rap or the way that they flow or anything like that? Because I know some people
Yeah,
who are capable of doing that. They'll say, "I." this is what I normally do, but I know how to do what I do, but do it for you because of the way that you rap specifically.
So that's how I've kind of trained myself
Okay.
is because I don't, I mean, I'm a beat maker, but what I do is, to my detriment, I believe, because I think, people that kind of have a formula, they can just, people just eat those beats up. But I have a formula per se, but at the same time, I still want to make a hit, but I'm always trying to understand and um, build my repertoire of what I know about different music. So to answer your question, yes, I'll try to make it to um, whatever your vibe is. So for instance, a lot of times I'll get asked to remix a song and I'll get the acapella. So then that just makes it even easier to, to build a song around your flow and or whatever. Um, but then also, I'll try to make beats with certain people in mind, certain moods in mind,
Mm-hmm.
certain things like that, and just catch a vibe like that. Um, but there's for me at least, there's no exact science to it. Like I said, it's a vibe. I know what I want the end product to be based on what EST said to me. But at the same time, I was able to keep who I am as well, as far as I still want to, figure out different things. So, and I'll play with it until until we both, whoever the artist is, and I come to something we can both stand on and vibe to. So definitely.
So talk to me about this artist Paco. Who is this? Where they come from? What y'all got going on?
Paco is a lyricist from Chattanooga, Tennessee. We have a project with him called Unmatched Spirit. It's on pre-order now. It comes out next month this time. It's just hip hop. He's one of those artists that I would kind of put in a Kendrick J. Cole kind of vibe where he can get over here and do something. He can do something else over here. So he can rap over, Freddie Gibbs, they can rap over trap beats, but then they can also jump on these hip hop beats. So with Circa 94 beats, we predominantly, that was that's my hip hop outlet, you know what I'm saying? So that's me and my partner, Jeremy. Humble Supreme, aka McGee, is his his beat moniker, but I'm
Circa
gonna give him his government
94.
name. Yeah. So I'll give him his government is Jeremy, but me and McGee, that's the outlet for that, So yeah, man. So Paco, he's coming with that album, man. I'm excited about it just because again, it's just another outlet. You know what I'm saying? It's not, I'll do like as an artist myself, I'll do anything from trap to R&B. And it's more like these are like production demos for me, you know what I'm saying? But then when I'm doing something like this, we did the whole project.
Okay.
So, from top to bottom. So, from interludes to doing that and sequencing the album, that's what I got into it for. You know what I'm saying? Those producers that produce the album from top to bottom, those were the people that inspired me, Pete Rock and the Tribe Called Quest and the Bomb Squad and people like that. They would produce their albums top to bottom, and you had a continuous vibe. You know what I'm saying? Like a stream of thought. A stream of thought though. That's basically I can say it.
So Black Folk Inc. How did that get started?
So that's how. Okay, that is my partner that I met in school.
Bang
So
bang.
yeah, so he was a little bit older, but like I said, I was the hype man and all that stuff. And for a second, we were verbal chaos, and we were doing like hip hop stuff, and we do South stuff mixed with hip hop. So we had a good little vibe, but we were like, look, we're gonna go out, yo, let's do something that's gonna shake, just shatter the world. So we were like, let's do our take of NWA, but we're gonna be Black Folk Inc. You know what I'm saying? So we were like something that's semi salacious, you know what I'm saying, semi, but also something that we could pull it back in and be conscious. So we did that, and even when we did our first album, we were like, we're just gonna put pictures of us as kids. We're gonna put shadows over our faces so we can just get in and get the hell out. You know what I'm saying? Because if this is it, we're gonna put all this money into this album and do all that. Let's make sure if it bombs, we can just go back into anonymity. And it actually ended up doing, and
That don't
it
sound like
actually
y'all have faith in it, man.
no, it wasn't that. It was just like, man, we had been at it for so long. Like I said, we opened for different people, did a lot of different things, and um, we just was like, I think we were just, kind of kind of shy. I don't know, but I mean, we knew we had a dope project, but it's just like still, But alas, we put it out, and this was before streaming and all that stuff. So we were selling it out the trunk, and it did well for us. A lot of magazines picked it up, a lot of different things like that. We got a lot of notice, so it was like, okay, we can do this. And we did a mixtape with a guy down here named Dirty Laundry, and linked up with people like from Nappy Roots and different stuff like that, and we just kept pushing. You know what I'm saying? We had a little trial and tribulation where the studio we were recording out of kind of shut down, so we had to kind of regroup.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we set up our own studio and do all that kind of stuff. Um, and just a lot of different things. It's weird, this game, because it's a lot of it's a roller coaster, man. It can be
It
a roller
is.
coaster.
It
You
is.
know, but we had a year that, man, we had, here locally, we'd have like songs on the radio. Like we would do like the intros to like the morning show or the evening show, and then we'd have singles out, and it would be like, oh boy, I mean, just going over that, because we had a partner that passed away. He was killed, and he was somebody that we were working with extensively. Got it in by the name of Brick. Rest in peace, Brick. He was with a group called Piney Woods. P-Dub was the original name of the group, but it was Piney Woods, and he was killed when he came back home. Haters, you know what I'm saying? So, and it happens all the time, but when it hits home, it's like one of those things, wow, do I fold or do I keep going? And so when that happened, I it it I was kind of at a point where I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like I don't know if I'm gonna keep pushing, but when I saw that happen, it gave me the drive to keep doing it for them, for people. It was so many people that had passed away. Rest in peace to one of my homies, Fat Cat. People that passed away that that were like, man, I'm going full steam ahead. You bullshitting. So, and they were pulling me. When I was kind of like, So, I dedicated uh since their passing, um my career to that. So
You pushed a lot harder after that because
yeah,
of them.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So um we had we were doing singles, and one of the one of the guys was labeled over the label, got sent to jail. A lot of stuff, man. Just a lot of ups and downs. But what happened was it gave me the opportunity to go harder with Circa 94 Beats. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? That was kind of my place to kind of heal, you know what I'm saying, and just get back to the essence of everything. So started doing that, and then what ended up happening was I had like a few features and different songs that I needed to get out as an artist. So that's when I said, let me just put out myself, Extraordinaire, as a solo artist. And when I did it, I was doing it more like, I'm Dr. Dre. This is my chronic. I'm gonna have people featured on here. But what it led to was, it was like, man, it's easier to promote myself. What if I got to do shows and half the people not on these songs? That was one of the things we noticed with Circa 94 Beats, because we were doing compilation albums. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna be an artist. I'm gonna put these songs out, and man, it's just been full steam ahead, man. Like I said, I dedicated this latter half of my career to Fat Cat, Brick, and all those other people that passed away, man. So I'm just, man, full steam ahead, man.
Yep. The motivation and inspiration is there.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So besides Paco, is there any other music that you plan on doing for this year, or is that you just gonna be dedicated to that?
No, so couple of things. I'm working on a project with a brother by the name of Crisis Rhyme Down out of Nashville. We wanted to have that project out. He's touring now with Bubba Sparks. Um, wanted to have that out before then, but we're gonna get together, get the videos right, get everything right, get the promotion right. Maybe do a couple more songs and see if we're gonna do an EP or a full project. But we got the songs ready. We got a good amount of songs ready. So I said let's just make sure we take our time and make it do what it do. So be on the lookout for that. I just last month I for Valentine's Day I released a single called Beautiful One with a singer by the name of Tanyelle and another singer that I produced a song with by the name of Chill Mode out of Nashville. Be on the lookout for that. Next week, I am dropping on April Fool's Day a single by the name of Bobby Brown. You got to hear it. I'm a fool for this one. That's why I dropped it on April Fool's. I decided just to do something a little different, but still in that lane that everybody fuck with. So I'm excited about dropping that song and the video and all that stuff. And that'll be coming. That'll be coming next month. So, and my goal is just to release music constantly. Whether it be every month, every other month, whether it be a project or just a single, because there was this video, this viral video a few years ago that Jazzy Jeff said, "I want to die empty." So I don't want to have any music sitting
I
up.
saw that, man.
Yeah, that was inspirational for
It
me.
was,
Um,
it
yeah.
was, it was.
So
It lit a fire under me, man. It
yeah,
lit a fire
exactly.
under me.
Exactly.
And
So
and the hard part is, well, not even the hard part, because now I've wrapped my mind around it. At first, I was like, how do I do this podcast, schedule these guests? Because I want to do 52 episodes a year. Like that's the goal. Do 52
mhm.
episodes a year. There are 52 weeks in a year. So,
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's what I wanted. So I was like, how do I do that? Schedule this, chop up these videos, blah, 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 blah. And then go do lyrics for songs. Like, how do you do all that? But
Yeah.
where there's a will, there's a way, right? It's all about
Yeah.
it's all about how your mind adjusts to everything and how
hmm
you see fit to balance those things. Because you can say, I'm gonna try it, which is one thing, but then you can say I'm working on it, which is another. It's two totally
hmm
different things between you trying something and you working on it or you doing it. You know what I mean? So once I realized that it wasn't about me trying, it was about me actually just getting up and just say, all right, I can do this. I can do this.
hmm
I can get up and go to work, do blah, 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 do whatever it is I need to do. And then when I come home, these are the set times and hours that I have dedicated for the rest of the night to make sure that I can get through and get these songs
hmm
done or get these podcasts done. So
Yeah.
it's just all about the application. Like how well will you apply yourself to make sure that you get these things done?
Exactly. Exactly. It's a juggling. It's a juggling act. Which you figure out a time. Get it done. Get it done. And that was just like me scheduling this. Because I had so many other things. I wanted to make sure that I could give you 100% when we
And I
sat down to
appreciate
do
that.
it. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So, the time finally lined up where I was like, okay, yes, let's get together and talk, man. So, yeah, you just got to figure it out and give it your all. You know what I'm saying? So I applaud you for that, man. Because I'm right there with you. I know that struggle, bro.
Yeah, yeah, we all do. Those who are doing it know and understand what it is. But like for me, someone asked me that. They say, "Is it hard for you? Do you get upset when people schedule don't match up with yours?" I was like, "No. The
hmm
moment that you tell me that you can't do it, I already have something planned. So the next thing
Exactly.
is, how do we figure out a week or two or a month in advance to put you in a position where it's comfortable for you. You can sit down and
hmm
do the interview and we can have a great interview. We can talk without any interruptions or any malfunctions. That's all it's
Yeah.
about. For me, that's
Yeah.
all I need to be able to do. Anything else,
hmm
my time is already set and scheduled. That's why I always ask people, hey, what does your time look like? Because this is my hours and it's set for me.
Yeah.
and
Exactly.
any and if you can't do get into those hours, then we'll figure something else out. We'll work it out, or I'll slide back to you. You can't be mad at people for having time, for using their
Yeah,
time and making their time valuable for them. Like I don't get mad about that. That has nothing to do with me. I'll catch up to you when I can catch up to you, and we'll do what we need to do once that time comes. But I don't ever get mad when I don't get interviews. I got interviews.
lined
But
up.
yeah, I got, but not just that, bro. But I got interviews with boxers that probably will never air just because we had some difficulties, or the exchange of conversation. Like it's just different shit that just happened, and you go, all right, whatever.
Yeah,
Like I'm not gonna air that. Now I could put it out to show how much of a sucker you really are or a goofy you are, but I ain't gonna do
yeah,
that. But
yeah.
it's just different things that happen, and you just go, look, my time is set for these specific things. Now, when an interview
Hmm.
goes wrong, oh man, I wish it could have been better. But the thing about it is, it's your time. Your time is the most
Yeah,
priceless asset that you have, and you have to figure
exactly.
out ways to maximize it for yourself. You know what I mean? There are days
It,
when I come home and I just need to sleep, man.
exactly, exactly, exactly. I know that feeling
Yeah,
because
man.
you push yourself. You push yourself. I know for me, I'll push myself hard. I'll do this. I got all. And then here's the thing. Even talking about what you're saying, even if something falls out for me, I still got all these other things that I need to get done. My to-do list is probably like yours. It's just continuous. Which is good. It gives me something to look forward to. But at the same time, like you said, you gotta let your body rest. You gotta give yourself a little break. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
So
learned my lesson about that, man. To anybody listening, man, make sure you give yourself some time to rest. Like it's okay when you got stuff lined up and two or three things fall in between the cracks, and then you
mhm.
go, oh, I can just do everything else for the rest of the day. That's cool, but at the same
Yeah,
time, I may take the time. I'm not doing nothing. Like I'm gonna take that hour, that
exactly.
2 hours. I'm not gonna do nothing. I'm gonna sit here and chill. I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna have me a couple glasses of wine, and I'm not gonna work on nothing, man. I'm just gonna relax. I'm gonna
Exactly.
decompress. Because you gotta
Exactly. That's the word.
you
Got to
gotta
decompress.
decompress. Because if you don't, you fuck around and hurt yourself, man.
Yeah, yeah. Exactly. Yeah, man. You just gotta sit back and here's the sad thing. Even when I decompress, my mind is still going, I need to do this. Oh, when I get up, when I get that energy though, I'm finna kill these graphics. I'm finna kill this verse. I'm finna write this, I'm finna do this. Like I'm working on a project now. It's still in the early stages. And me and I don't want to give too much away, but me and McGee, we're doing something. And so I got to start. I need to be writing. I've been writing, but I just haven't dropped it. But I'm always conscious of it. I'm always thinking, okay, I need to get these bars right because I can't just come with these trap bars. I got to come with these hot bars. You know what I'm saying? So for me, even when I'm decompressing, it's just like, okay, I got to think of these lyrics. I got to do, so but that and for me personally, I can't speak for anybody else. It keeps me going. It gives me something to, I'm not gonna say something to live for, like I'm just suicidal, but it gives me something to really push for and to continue to strive for. You know what
The
I'm saying? Something
challenge
to
of
look
it.
forward to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's
the challenge of it. That's
yeah.
it. The challenge of it, man. That makes a big difference, man. Like, oh man, I can't wait to figure this out. It's like whether it's the podcast or making music or doing graphics, it's like Christmas for me, man. I can't wait to open that gift to see that finished product of what's to come. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I'm stuck with this. I'm gonna be doing this forever, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Until
that's
until
it.
my day come when I
Exactly.
get called up out of here. That's it.
And even then, I'm gonna be up in heaven making beats on harps, bro. I'm going in.
Got
That's when I
to do
get
what you got
kicked
to
out.
do.
I'm making beats. Gotta be like, get out. But I'm gonna go hard wherever I'm at. You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely. You supposed to. Shit.
exactly,
You supposed
exactly,
to. Like you
exactly,
said, man, I'm here to empty my tank. I gotta do this
exactly,
until ain't nothing left.
exactly,
Until ain't nothing left. Like
exactly,
I'm gonna keep going and going and going and going. And
and going and going
yeah, and the only thing is that I did too much, and I damn near killed
yeah,
myself. So I
exactly,
understand now that rest and diet and everything is good, but
yeah.
I'm
You got
still
to
going. I'm still keep going because you know, being active and being productive is a part of life. You know
exactly,
what I mean? Like
exactly.
I wasn't born rich to just sit around and complain about nothing. you know. So
Exactly.
the goal for me is to always continue to be productive
Yeah. And
and
not be complacent. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Even when you
absolutely.
get to even when you get to wherever you're going, I mean, I would encourage you just to still keep pushing. You know what I mean? I mean, because what else is it? You know what I mean?
It don't stop. It don't
It
stop.
don't stop.
It's just
It don't
another
stop.
level. Even when you reach a
Yeah,
goal, it's all right, I got that. Now how do I go to another level? What's the next task? What's
exactly.
the next challenge? Yeah.
Exactly. 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 I gotta have my yeah. So I'm 100% with you, man. I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you, man.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Maybe at some point we'll end up chopping up over an EP or a whole project or whatever it is,
Yeah,
and
man.
we'll flesh something out.
Definitely, man. I mean, I'm telling you, man. That's what I'm on this earth to do, man. And more so, a full project is something. I've been doing singles as myself, and it's like and I understand that's the way things work, but man, to do a project from front to back that has a through line, that's what I got into it for. You know what I'm saying? So,
When
yeah,
was the
man.
last time you did a full project? As far as you explain so people understand a full project, are you talking 12 songs or you want to do 15 or 17? What are you talking about?
And I mean even a EP. And
Okay.
when I say that, I mean um just something that has a okay, this is put together, this is sequence, you know what I'm saying? As opposed to a single where it's just that song and you don't have nothing to stand it up against. That was a good thing. Like one of my favorite albums of all time is Low End Theory. Now, some of the songs are not as good as others, but I have to listen to the whole album from front to back because they make the complete album. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So I love those songs. I can't like say on its own merit, oh, that's a dope. I mean, but it's a dope songs, but it's like as the album put together sequence. So what I'm saying is like the last semi full project was an EP that I did with 8 songs. It was called Extraordinaire Volume One, and it was remix of songs that I previously released, alternate mixes of songs I previously released. And so I would have the one song, boom, and then go to the next song. You know what I'm saying? Just different stuff like that, just to make it not feel disconnected. So that's a big thing for me. Even like with the Paco project, for instance, that's I think 12 songs, and
Mm-hmm.
so we've got interludes in there. The name of the album is Unmatched Spirit. So he has a through line with his grandmother, who was a big inspiration to him. It was funny because we found out that I had this picture of my mom, my partner. We had an album, me and Black Folk Inc. We had a album called Old, and it was like an ode to this classic hip hop. And on the cover, it was a picture of my mom and his mom from high school.
Wow.
Uh, but here's the kicker: we figured out that Paco's mom was also on that picture. But
Wow.
take it up another level, we would see that me and my partner would see that picture back in the day. And then there was this artist, there was this actor who comes from Chattanooga. It was like, wait a minute, that's Sam Jackson. So he's in the picture as well. So
That's
it's a
crazy.
yeah. So that's 4 people, that well, I don't know Sam Jackson personally, but and I don't know his grandma, but you know what I'm saying? Those are four connected people that was in that one picture. And it just shows, okay, man, we're all kind of connected in some way. So that going back to what I'm talking about with whole albums, it's like, man, we want to have, you want to have a through line. You want to say, okay, oh, the ebbs and the ties of this going here and this going there and the sequence, and oh, this leads into this song. That I mean, it's hard to come by because what they say is that not only the attention span, but the way that people listen to music now with streaming, they don't necessarily listen to whole albums and all that stuff. But I'm gonna still put out those albums, figure out ways to promote them so people will listen to them, and just play with the parameters, man, because that's what it's all about, man. great music and making something that it'll stick to your bones. That's for
Yeah,
me
making
anyway.
something
You
of
know,
quality, something that'll
exactly,
last. Something that'll
exactly.
last. Can you imagine that? Like going back to what you were saying about Quincy Jones. This is a
Mhm.
guy that put together Fly Me to the Moon, and motherfuckers listened to it while they were on their way to the moon.
Exactly. That's saying a lot.
That's saying
That's
a
saying a
whole
lot.
lot.
That is impact. That's impact.
Big impact.
So
You got Frank
yeah.
Sinatra singing Fly Me to the Moon.
Mm.
And he back here going, I did that.
Exactly.
Whether you know it or not, I
Exactly.
did that. That's me.
Exactly. Exactly. So, and that's the thing. Even okay, I might not ever have that impact with the world, but guess what? If I can impact a couple of thousand people with an album like that, you know what I'm saying?
Makes a
I
difference.
mean, it makes a difference. It makes a difference. So, yeah, man, that's why I say I'm full steam ahead, man. I'm always like, oh, how can we do this? How can we? So, yeah, man, that's where I'm at with it. You're
Yes,
right.
sir. Yes, sir. Is there anything you want to ask me? Anything at all?
So, what are you working on? What are you doing? Um, what are some of your goals for 2022?
2022. So of course the 52 episodes. Um,
Word.
I need to get more women involved on these episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's important that we document and talk to women and get them to tell their story. Um,
Mm-hmm.
one of my upcoming interviews is on the way. I'm very proud of this one. I wish me and her had more time to talk, but um, it's one that I really wanted to get. So that was part of my goals, getting her on the podcast. There's
Mm-hmm.
two projects I want to work on that I want to finish, uh, as far as music goes. There's one with my buddy from Canada. It's a Haitian
Okay.
producer. Yeah. So
Oh,
we
dope,
we
dope.
yeah he is like this dude. This dude can really make some. He can really make some dope music. So we're trying to find a time to mesh so we can go over some of this stuff and get it done. So he recently sent me some beats, and I've been trying to wrap my mind around that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then I think there's two more projects. I think there's one that I've been asked to be a part of called Fifth Element. And
Mm-hmm.
then I think I need to put out maybe one or two that I have with Six, because I have one with Six and then I have one with Agent Smith, and I need to be able to get those out. So all the music projects that I have going on, if I can get like one or two of those out or three, that would be good for me.
Yeah,
And also
yeah.
another thing I want to do, well, that's a financial goal, and I don't really want to talk too much about that, but I do plan on adding a couple more zeros into my bank account.
Exactly.
So yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. I don't
Exactly.
I,
That'll
I don't
be
want to talk about that. I don't, that's one of those things
you.
I don't speak
You
on. But
you don't want to jinx yourself, or what
no,
is
I
it?
ain't worried about no jinx. But it's one of those things that, either it's gonna happen or it's not, and
Yeah,
I believe that
I
it'll
understand.
happen. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
I'm working on something, man. So yeah,
yeah, definitely.
yeah.
And I
More
mean, I'm right.
responsibility on myself.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not, no, I'm right there with you. That's why I was kind of, I leaned into the camera because I mean, that is, I think I've been seeing that lately in the, last year, I was kind of been like, okay, I got to get strength. I got to strengthen that arm too. You know what I'm saying? Stacking, and getting those zeros going on. You know what I'm saying? Because you know it is what it is. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I feel you. I feel you,
and
man.
the more financially stable you are, the more movement you can have for yourself. So
Exactly.
um,
Exactly. I,
it,
I'll
it,
say this because I added a few last year, and I was like, oh man, I mean, my time was a little bit more limited, but I was able to do a lot more stuff as far as the goals that I wanted to achieve. So no, I feel you. I'm 100% with you. I feel you on that, man. I
yeah,
feel
yeah,
you,
yeah.
man.
The zeros matter as far as being comfortable and being able to maneuver, but it's also
Mm-hmm.
about advancement and just being able to say, all right, now that I have it, I have more
Yeah,
resource to do this specifically, and I can
yeah.
dedicate my time to that without losing anything in the process. So um,
And And another reason, just real quick, why I just did a video for a song that, even though I'm far from being finished, I know certain songs I want to have videos for, and I did a video about that topic and a song about that topic. So that's another reason why I was kind of leaning in to kind of get your perspective on that. So I mean, uh, that's where it is, man. So we have to be, thinking about that,
Yeah.
advancing and, you know,
Financial
it's
literacy
just
is a big thing because
exactly.
one of the things that I've noticed, the older I've gotten and the more people I've been around as far as networking, and
Hmm.
this is no knock on our culture or community, but I see more of us holding what the resource that we know for ourselves. There are a lot of
Yeah,
us that hold it because they don't want to share. They don't want other people to advance or do better than them. And for me saying I have a goal like that, I'm putting it to the side because I need to be able to work on that and I need to be able to see it through before I get out here saying stuff and I don't know what I'm saying
yeah.
exactly. You understand what I'm
No,
saying? So
yeah. Now just say it out loud. Then you got to do it.
yeah, oh
Because
no,
everybody gonna be what?
yeah, no,
I
it's
know.
gonna get we gonna get to it, but for for the people that I've been around and listening to them, it's just like, yo, y'all motherfuckers act like y'all scared for other black people to succeed and be
Yeah.
financially secure. Like if you teach me something and I learn it and I do better at it than you did, that makes it better for you as a teacher. It makes
Hmm.
it better for me. It makes it better for the person I'm about to teach because now
Yeah.
I get to elevate 3, 4, 5, 6 to 8 people and make their lives better.
Exactly.
Why wouldn't you want to do that? Shouldn't that be the whole point of helping each other move
Yeah.
forward? So some of these people out here, man, they lame as fuck, man, and
Yeah.
they super goofy out here, man. And you
Yeah.
really just got to fight through the muck and mire with some of these people and just let them get their nut off, man, and act like they know everything because it could
Hmm.
easily lead to me digressing, and I fuck around
Hmm.
and hit somebody in the face. You know what I mean? And we
I
not
feel you. I feel you. Yeah.
we
We're
I'm
not.
too old to be doing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it
Absolutely.
takes nothing. It takes nothing, break somebody's jaw or some shit like that over something so silly. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Exactly.
we
And
don't need
it's
that.
yeah, it's that crab in the barrel mentality, and I see it a lot. And it was weird because just to kind of play on what you said. So I went to school at MTSU and all that stuff, and I came back. I wanted to bring that knowledge back to people, but then a lot of times they were so taken aback. They didn't want it. They didn't want the knowledge, and it kind of threw me off because I was in an environment where passing on knowledge was accepted and it was part of the culture. So now you won't see that as much in Atlanta. For instance, Atlanta, a lot of times, and I'm not saying that's the whole truth, the rule, but a lot of times when I go to Atlanta network, I'm getting a lot of knowledge. I'm getting a lot of, building people. And I think, certain areas, I guess where you are, where I'm from, the mentalities are different and they're not it's not ingrained in them that okay, we need to be helping to build each other. So that's why I kind of, that was another reason why I was like, okay, I wanted to hear your thought process on that. But I get it. I understand where you're coming
Yeah,
from
man. I
because
mean, but having more than one millionaire in the circle is always better than just having one. Like if
exactly.
you six and a bunch of us got $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, that means there's less chance we'll have to go and use a bank or something. We can turn to each other and say, look, we're gonna do this to each other. You get a piece of this, you get a piece of that, or whatever it is. And there are more of
Hmm.
us that are successful. Why are we taking the
Exactly.
time? Why are we making sure that we don't help each other? Like that, to me, that don't make no
Yeah.
sense, man. So it's one of those things where I have to make sure that I be very careful around certain people. And I don't say certain things,
I
and,
understand. And I get it. I have a
and I just
partner.
like I just let them rock out. Like, all right, you yeah, you right. You know
No,
what you're talking about.
I get it. Like, so for instance, I have a partner that I collaborate with by the name of Reggie Long. We did a song last year called In My Lane. He sung with a group that Warren G helped put out called Real Tight. Anyway, long story short, he has started his own trucking company now. And when we've talked about it, he just, yeah, man, these are the moves. I had a mentor in Atlanta to put me up on game. He's like, man, it's hard, it's hard for me I want to see my people win, but a lot of times, they can't receive that information, you know. or so just a full circle of just a we all gotta get in sync, you know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
what you're saying on your end, and then on that flip side of people not wanting to receive it and all that stuff. So, but I'm 100% with you, man. And hey,
We
man,
gonna
get
die.
those
We gonna die off acting like that. We will die. We will
exactly.
die off thinking
Yeah,
that we can hold everything to our fucking chest. Man, share that shit. Share the information. Help
exactly,
people. Like that's what you're supposed to do. If they don't
exactly.
understand how to do it or they fuck it up, that's on them. You did your job as a person that's successful or whatever it is. Or so for me with music or the amount of success that I have financially or whatever it is, I share it with younger people so they have it. So they can't say nobody
Hmm.
never gave it to them.
Yeah,
Me
exactly,
sharing all of this information is to make sure that you are properly prepared and you can make a move going forward. I'm not gonna hold it to my
exactly.
chest and say, no, I'm not gonna help him. You smoke weed or you're a gang member or whatever it is. No,
Yeah,
bro. No, that's not how it goes. I'm sharing it with you so you are properly prepared when you go into that bank and you ask for a loan. Or you come to me and
yeah.
say, yo, bro, I'm tight. I don't want to go to the bank. Loan me 10 grand and I'll pay you back with 12 or 12 and a half. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Let's make a deal on it or something like that. Or what are you trying to get into? What you trying to buy? Or I'm trying to do this. I tell you what, I'll put the money down and 20% of the company is mine until it's paid off, and then I get out the way.
Hmm.
It's shit like that. So like when someone tell, oh man, I'm not trying to help them. They don't know what to do or they'll mess it up. They'll mess it up for everybody else. You don't know that
Hmm.
until you get a better understanding of who the person is and what their goals are and what they're trying to
Exactly,
accomplish. And
exactly,
if you're not gonna do that, if you're not gonna get invested in these people, then you again, you're in the way, man. You're part of the problem, not the solution. So, um,
exactly.
yeah, man, we goal driven. We are goal driven, man. We are gold
Yeah,
diggers. GOALDIGGERLS. I mean, not L,
yeah,
but gold diggers.
yeah.
We out here trying to make shit happen. So
Definitely,
I'm
definitely.
definitely, yeah, definitely working, definitely got shit going on. I also need to travel.
Hmm.
There's a couple trips that have been planned. And
Have you been,
I'm gonna see
have you
them
been out of
through.
the Have you been out of the country?
Yes, sir. I've been to London.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay, I haven't been there, but
I've been to Paris. I've been to
yeah.
Estonia and a couple of other places.
Okay, definitely. So what are you planning on going? I'm just curious because I need to plan a trip myself.
Well, for now, the current trips are just within the United States of America. I got to go to
Hmm.
Cali and see some friends, um, in San Diego, San Jose,
Hmm.
LA, and a couple other places. I got people all around, so I definitely need to go out and visit them. And
Hmm.
then after that, I need to start making my way back out to the UK.
Hmm.
A young person that's like a brother to me who I partially mentor. I mentored, can't say partially because I mentored him. Um,
Hmm.
and I was able to get him on a road where he thought that living overseas would be better for him. And since he's been over there, he's been enjoying life and having fun. So I definitely want to go over there and check him out and see how he's living and take in the UK with him. So
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, I just had a partner that just came back from UK. He brought me all the little sauces, and he was like, that Marmite is garbage and different, different stuff like that. So definitely, man. I've been to Paris, and Germany because I had a partner in the Air Force. But yeah, that's where but I've got other friends that have not been out of the country. I'm like, when it stuff opens back up, man, you got to experience that, man.
gotta
You got to
go,
experience
man.
it. Yeah,
Every
yeah.
person, I would implore every person out there, if you have the time, not only if you have, make the time to travel, to go overseas.
Mhm.
And the biggest thing that I think we all need to do is go to Africa and check out what that is, because I haven't been yet.
Me neither. And that's
The closest I got was Spain. I went to Pamplona, Barcelona, um,
okay.
and I went to the was it the Church of Cordova or the Cordova Mosque. I was there to see that. Then I went to Rock of Gibraltar, which is where you go out to board and you go over to Africa. But I didn't do it because the young lady I was with at the time was too scared. So um,
Mm.
so I didn't go to Africa, which is not too far. Like you can pretty much see, but
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's not that far, man. But yeah, we didn't go. So I've been a few places, man. But I'm it's on my mind and it's on my heart to get out there and do these things. But Africa is very, it's like it's
Definitely.
I'm itching. You know what I mean? Like it's becoming more of a thing. Where like, why are you not there yet? You know.
Hmm.
But I definitely need
Definitely,
to get
man.
there.
Definitely, definitely. That's on my to-do list as well.
Yes, sir.
Because it's one thing to see I mean, Jamaica is the closest maybe that I can say I've gotten to Africa. I mean, of course, other than Germany, but I'm just saying as far as cultural wise,
Culture, yeah.
it's one thing to see a Mexican culture, German or French culture, but I do want to see my people's culture.
Absolutely.
People people that I descended from, even though I got ancestry let me know that I got a little English and Scottish in me, but
Absolutely.
that's neither here nor there. I do want to see the where I'm predominantly from, so
Yeah.
that is on my to-do list as well, man.
Yeah, man. And it's crazy because I listen to people talk about it and they said, man, they said you you don't know the feeling of what you don't know how it feels to go somewhere and everybody looks like you, even the
Hmm.
police, and they don't stop you to pull you over and shoot you or beat you down, but they're just
Yeah,
actually doing their job.
that
They're
reminds me of
act they're
a Richard
actually
Pryor
just
thing.
doing their job.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
You said that reminds you of what?
Reminds me of a Richard Pryor story that he said in a stand up. So when he went to Africa, his experience in Africa, where it was just all, people, everybody looked like him and ain't no niggas there. So that kind of thing. So yeah, that's a big part of it, to see that, and be around, you know, our culture, man. So that is on the to-do list.
Yeah.
I got a partner that was from I can't remember exactly I want to say Nigeria, but don't quote me. But he was just breaking it down and telling me about the philosophies and all that stuff. And it's like, man, it ain't, yeah, there might be this over here, but man, we living good over there. So I do want to go over there eventually. And that's on my to-do list. Before I go to any other European, I might hit a Bahama before then. But before I do anything else, that's where I want to go.
Yeah,
And
and it's crazy how like you hear so much about these other places that you forget, like, yo, Africa's actually your home. Like you haven't been to the
exactly,
place that where everything originated and started. Like you haven't been there yet. Like you
yeah,
Matt, oh, you've been all these places, but you ain't been there.
exactly, exactly. So that is on the to-do list,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. I think we good, my guy. I think we good here. This is a great episode. I've enjoyed it. Yes,
I didn't
sir.
get that. I promise you I was gonna act crazy before, but I didn't do nothing too
You,
crazy. And
you
now,
didn't.
every once in a while I would do this just to see if I could catch you laughing, but it didn't happen, man. But all jokes aside, man, it's been a pleasure to finally sit down with you and do it. We got to do it again, bro.
Yes, sir. We definitely. I would definitely enjoy doing this again. I've enjoyed this, being able to have a conversation with you and talk about some of the things that you got going on, I got going on, and I actually get some inspiration from it as well, man. It's been a pretty good thing. I've enjoyed it. All
All
right,
right,
ladies and
man.
gentlemen, this is another episode. My guest was Extraordinaire El Jefe,
Yes, sir. You
representing
see
that
that?
Chattanooga, Tennessee. You diggery do. So, with that said, remember the mission statement when you're striving for greatness. God never puts you in the driver's seat if it's taken. And we done here.